so that they can know that there is opportunity out here. So you guys go ahead, get ready to look at the chat. We're going to go over 5 roles before we go, and I want you guys to tell me how you feel. Is that all right? All right. Be
Yes.
encouraged. We have 4 job offers this month. If you are in the market, if you are interviewing, keep getting the phone ringing, keep going, don't stop. Believe that your first yes is out there. And I want to show you that what you learn in Road to QA is enough to land your first role, and every role will not be for you. Be okay with that. But there is one out there for you. Let's go ahead. Let's refresh the page. We got QA software, QA analyst, 75 to 130K. Who will take this role? Is it remote? Yes, it is. Who will take this remote? Let's roll. You write clear and complete test plans and test cases. You perform unstructured exploratory. Oh, okay. You work closely with the team to ensure the software requirements are fulfilled. You work with the team of developers and QA analysts to debug problems. You enjoy working and directing in remote testing teams. Heck yeah. And you are passionate about quality. You love collaborating. Qualifications, 3 years industry experience. So what's the industry experience here? I don't know. It's a fintech. So if you have any financial background experience, you are a benefit. However, I pay my bills, so I'm gonna find a way to tell that story that I have industry know-how. All right. Now it looks like one of the skills is experience with API testing or Postman, similar tool. You have the intro module and Road to QA for that. Experience with SQL and transactional application, experience with Linux platforms. So if you do have Linux, I actually think I've done any other work outside of it, but I would go GTS this so I can speak to that a little bit more. Meaning I'm going to say, even though they're saying experience, I'm going to say something like, I've been experienced and I worked on this. However, I understand what Linux is, and I'm going to share my knowledge of that. All right. Now it says familiar with basic accounting, basic concepts. So if you have any of these, definitely you're more qualified for what they're looking for. But at the same time, if we look at the job description, do we feel like we can apply for this role based upon the actual job description? If we actually apply, if we actually say what you're going to do, you're going to complete company or onboarding, you're going to work with other engineers, run test scenarios, write and execute test features and test cases, execute and review automated test results. Why is this huge? This is huge because every single one of you can actually add this on your resume, especially as you go through the program. Execute and review automated test results. What does that mean? Maybe there's an automation engineer who's actually developing the automation test suites. You're just going running it, executing it, and you're looking at the results and identifying if there's any defects or if anything needs to go back and be retested manually or the automation needs to be updated. Boom. That's how I can answer that. Follow and perform standards and perform QA deployments. If you actually go look inside of Road to QA, I literally just posted about how we can contribute to deployments as QAs. That's inside of the Road to I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. That's actually, I'm going fast because I'm trying to get y'all out of here. That is actually inside of the Road to QA Circle community. I just posted that last night in the middle of the night, talking about how we can contribute to deployments. So I'll need to hear from you guys. Do we feel like we can apply for this role with what you're learning Road to QA?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. If it's a no, I want to know why. I want to know why.
It's a yes, but for me, I would be a little hesitant with the SQL experience. I'm not there yet.
Okay, so remember, let them tell you no. You know identify what it is, how you use it, a scenario, and decide the career story you're going to tell. Although I actually haven't used SQL within my current projects, I am aware of this of database validation. Here are some basic queries, and my understanding is definitely something I'm looking forward to upskill in. Hopefully, this is enough, however you want to say it, to fulfill this role. If not, I'm willing to learn. Bam, there you go.
All right.
It's not what you say, how you say it. Let your resume do the talking, and if they pull your resume, if they pull your resume for an interview, then apparently something was enough for you to actually get an interview. Was that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, let's go. Let's go to the next one. All right, job number 2. All right, quality assurance analyst, making sure up to $65 an hour. Is it remote? Yes, it is. Actually, well-versed in the SDLC. All right. Experience writing SQL queries. They got a few ones with SQL in here. Experience with manual testing in Postman. Experience with data migration projects. Okay, so do we understand the job description? So really, it looks like they do want someone with skills. So for 55 to 65 an hour, who would take that? because I would, that's a
Me.
great, right. Like I'm going all weekend
Yeah.
to tell a better story about SQL and Postman, okay?
That part. Yes. No sleep.
Can I hold your brain in for my future interviews? Laugh out loud. I know it's a lot up there. I'm sorry. It comes out so
Hi,
fast. I'm
Jennifer.
sorry. Hey.
If you can, whoever said, can they borrow your brain? Trust me, I'm sure he or she is speaking for all of us. I promise you. Sometimes when you answer, we're like, oh God,
It's okay. Y'all got the replay. You can replay it
promise
though.
you. I feel, I know that all of us want to borrow your brain. If we can share your
Yes.
brain, we will.
Jennifer,
Can we? I'd like you to
as you
just.
were, oh,
Sorry,
I'll
I'm
just say
sorry.
this. Thank you. I'll just
No,
say really
so
quickly.
you can go.
Jennifer,
Yeah.
as you
Uh-oh.
were,
I'm sorry. I got a few of you guys. Blessing, were you done?
No, I was just going to say
Yeah.
something that I wanted you to just repeat. So how you would say
Mm-hmm.
your familiarity with API in an interview.
Mm-hmm.
API, I need I would like to hear you. So let me borrow your brain.
Me? Oh, wow.
Yes.
You tested me. Okay. So, oh gosh, you got me. I got like 100 things on my mind. Okay.
Now let me do how you
So,
say. No,
so
Jennifer, I'm gonna let me do how you say. Can you tell me your experience with API?
oh, she's interviewing me. Yes, with API, a lot of my experience has been front-end manual testing. I do have a little bit of API experience in testing CRUD operations. A lot of my experience have actually been running get requests and actually verifying the response and the status codes and also the body of information. It's not actually a skill set that I've used a lot because it wasn't needed in my previous roles, but I do have some experience with validating the API. I actually enjoyed it and I would love to actually do some more work. And I definitely believe that, 2 weeks onto the job, I can be further.
Boom. Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
mic drop.
That part.
Is that okay? So
It is awesome.
Can we fill it with more? Absolutely. And if they ask more, but I'm trying to get out of that question if, especially if I ain't used it for a while. And that's the honest truth. If you ask my brother versus me, he can give you more. But my skill with API actually, like I would have to put my hands on it some more. But if I tell you guys how to speak and being familiar, exposed, knowledgeable of and experience, did you see how I did that? I use those words very wisely to say what I've been experienced in, but I am exposed and I do have some experience in it, but I was very specific on what my experience was. So if they ask me something more, I've already told them this is where I'm at. I haven't lied. I've been honest and I gave them the floor to decide if that was enough for them. Was that okay?
So how would you answer the question based on SQL? Like if you have no knowledge of SQL, they ask you about it, how will you like spin that in the interview?
Well, if you read the job description before they interview you and it said SQL, you better have studied something. Now, if it wasn't on the job description, they actually happened to ask you, okay, I give you some leeway. However, you're a rota QAer. So all of us should know some way that we're going to communicate SQL. Same thing. Spit out my interview question. What's my interview question? Give it to me around SQL.
Okay. Hi, Jennifer. How you have any experience with SQL in your previous work positions?
Oh, well, you know what? Thank you so much for that question. This one kind of makes me a little nervous just because a lot of my experience has been on the front end of application, mobile testing, as well as API testing. I actually find that SQL is a little fun. I do have some experience with basic SQL queries. I'm able to definitely run the basics of SQL, such as basic select statements, wheres, aggregates, orders, order bys. I'm trying to get it out. To validate the database. So you see how I'm scrambling out? Because I'm like, yeah, I got me like literally here. At a high level, if I'm answering that, I'm going to say that I've been experienced on the database of MySQL. I've actually worked on the project because I have that actually encompassed a huge database validation testing. But what we actually used was we did front end testing. So that would be my real scenario, because we use front end testing, and I would do something on the front end, go to the database, and I would run some basic SQL queries. However, in that role, it wasn't expected that I was proficient in SQL. So my skill level was okay there. So if SQL is actually something that you're looking for, I'm definitely open to continue to improve that skill set. I do feel that I can contribute to that a little bit more even before this role. However, I would love to know what is the expected experience level that you're looking for that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So is that okay? Like, you see how like I stumbled, but I'm like, my mind
Mhm.
is saying, how can I still talk without saying I don't know? I'm never
Right.
going to say I don't know. And then if anything, I spent it to say, here's what I know. Am I enough? Tell me what's enough, because I think I can meet that, and let me decide if I can meet that for you.
Right.
We will
That was
definitely borrow your brain.
Please and thank you.
I gotta do some work. I gotta brush up though, because I had 2 RTRs this week. Y'all know I get to test in the market
Good to
again.
me.
My husband, I can't say, okay, I can't say it. My husband just did 3rd round interview. So we gonna see. We'll see if we get an offer. That's right. You joined the right camp. Okay, y'all. Was that good? Y'all quizzing
It
me
was
now.
very
Y'all,
good.
okay. So see, I stumbled too, but that's real. Like, if I was in an interview, I would probably, even if I stumbled like that, I would literally come back like that. I'm gonna take my stumble and I'm gonna keep it rolling, but I'm never gonna say I don't know. I'm gonna find
We
a
couldn't
way
tell it.
to say how to control. Well, if I wanted to like kill it, I would have prepared, for the, when I got the interview, I would have prepared more so I can give an actual scenario a little bit deeper. But sometimes when it comes to, I'm gonna be honest, API can speak a little bit more. SQL, I'm actually better with doing it than saying it and then articulating it. That's actually me. So for me, I'm like visualizing it as I talk. So that's why I also stumble. And it's kind of one of those where it's like, just give it to me and I can figure it out. Like I can't query like my skill set with querying isn't actually that good. With joins, I freak them up. I can tell you, we can talk about what a join is, the different types, but when we talk about doing it, I got to do that. I got to do that work to improve my skill set. However, if I need to find data, it may take me longer, but I still have a skill set of being able to to utilize basic queries. It's just that when it comes to joins, it kind of gets me. All right. So that's exactly what I was saying. Actually, that's the answer that I basically gave to land that role. And she was like, it's fine. I help you with the queries. What you have is enough. You know how to go in the database, you know basic queries, you understand the functionality of it. That's what I need to know. We can grow on that. And she gave me that job. That's how I ended up with 2 QA jobs. And I was like, what? So, all right. Was that good? All right. Let's go. Let's get y'all out of here. Y'all quizzing me now. Y'all can't, I did not know I was coming on here to do some work. So we got 55 to 65 an hour. Who's going to take this role? Did we do this one? All right, 3. Let's get out of here. Need y'all to know it's opportunities out here. Let's refresh. Let's make sure it's still real and it ain't closed. 9-10 hours ago, we're seeking candidates who meet these following qualifications. Develop and execute test cases, test scripts. Now it says perform manual and automated testing. Now, just because it says manual and automated, again, they're going to always have a wish list. But what I don't see, it says under qualifications, it says experience with manual testing and familiar with automated testing tools. It doesn't say experience, it says familiar. So I'm going to take it that I am enough. Do you guys agree? The worst thing that can happen is they don't pull my resume, right?
Right.
Right.
That's it. That's the worst thing that can happen, because I am experienced in manual testing and I am familiar with automation. All right, let's go. 4. Quality assurance tester, manual testing. 6 days ago, 16 hours. These are some good ones. Y'all gonna have me over here. I might have to
Trying to
direct.
stack again. See, you about to stack them up.
Right. I might need to have to go direct apply, see if my skills still work. They might Google my name and be like, I don't know, we can trust her. Y'all got me all over the
Stack
internet
queen.
now talking about job stacking. I'm like, I gotta keep my income, so I'm being silly. Yeah. I mean, I'm not, but I am. All right. Quality assurance testing, manual testing. Who gonna take 60 to 65 an hour? These are like, we just had like 3 of them that was like 50, 60 an hour. All right. Now I'm gonna scan this. All right, collaborate with product managers, execute test cases, identify defects, perform functional testing, document test results, work closely with developers, participate in software design requirements, stay up to date on trends, contribute to continuous improvement, additional requirements, solid background. Now, they do want solid background. Now, they are saying proficiency in queries and inserts in the so. Knowing this, the only thing, I'm still going to apply because that's just what I do. The only thing is, you know, if you feel confident enough that because they're saying proficiency, that's going to be something that they're looking for. So it looks like you are going to be in a database. So I definitely feel, to me, like you said, Udemy is going to be my best friend through the weekend because I'm going to put that I'm proficient. What's proficient? Proficient to who? Well, I was proficient enough in my last role. I was proficient enough that I understand how to query. Look at Viola, like, you laughing at me? So and so I'm proficient enough, so I'm gonna put it on my resume to tell a good story to get that phone to ring. All right, worst thing they can say is you can't get the job. Now, what I'm not gonna do is go in an interview and they, you know, and they ask me something about it, right, Tangia? What I'm not gonna do is, you know, go into the interview and when we say proficiency, I am gonna be honest with like what proficiency means to me, right? What proficiency mean to you?
Proficiency is relative, huh?
Right. So, you know, that's just how I think, you know. So I'm going to be honest, you know, because I mean, like honest enough where if I'm in an interview, if I get that interview now, I'm going to ask them questions on what does it look like to use that skill. So that's what I'm doing, because at that point I'm analyzing if they did give me this offer, can I do this job or did I just mess up? You did a 3rd round interview? So we're waiting, Tangia? All right. I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. All right, last one for the day. So if we take about the fact that proficiency is in there, this whole job description, don't we still feel like we can apply? If there's anyone who doesn't, I need to know why. Because all of these jobs I just gave you is everything you learn in Road to QA. All you need is one yes. All right? The more skills you have, the more competitive you are. This is what I mean by that. A lot of people are just getting in the market as manual testers. Right now, as you can see, it says manual testing, but most of our students has landed jobs this month before. Their titles say QA analyst, QA engineer, software tester, testing systems analyst. It doesn't say manual testing, even though we know it's a manual testing role. So the job titles are changing, but then what we're seeing is you're doing manual testing, but they have things like this, those other skill sets, SQL, API. You saw how one role said manual testing with front end. So that's front end testing with some back end validation. Another one said they want API and SQL. There's a job for you. You have to understand that every role won't be for you. Let's wrap it up for the night so we can get you guys home. Last one. All right, let's refresh and make sure it's real. All right, 70K to 90K. That ain't bad. 6 days ago. It's remote. Look, I'd take 80K just to be remote. Test execution, execute test cases, defect identification, test documentation, regression testing, automation scripts. Now it says contribute to the automated regression testing framework by writing test cases in Gherkin style language. I'm going to ask you, what is that? And how can you contribute to that? Do you feel like you can even apply? Or are you going to see automated testing and contribute to that and you're going to get scared? Let me know.
Contribute. I can review.
All right. What is Gherkin style language? Anybody?
Given when then.
Look, Jason, you to me. Oh, not you, Anthony. Jason said that would have scared me. No, we let me tell you something. We study for these job descriptions. Remember, the worst thing that can happen is they just don't call you. So it says automated test scripts. A few things that I'm going to do is I'm analyzing this. Do I feel like I comply? First of all, my mind says 70 to 90K. You want to pay me 70, 90K and then add automation in there, you're trying to use somebody. That's my personal opinion. So I'm thinking they just want somebody that probably also has a skill or can be skilled up. Maybe they have an automation engineer. Maybe they have a small budget. Who knows? But I feel that for 70, 90K, I shouldn't have to be proficient in that. So I'm going to still apply enough. You know why? Because in Road to QA, we have intro modules. You have like, you know, courses that you can do. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to go get enough experience to say what an automation tool is that I've used and programming language, how I've actually used it, and created some type of end-to-end scenario and how I actually was able to contribute that to the test scripts. Right now, I'm going to also say that that was not my primary job responsibility. We have in my projects, we had QA and automation engineers. However, I do have some experience being within it. My bullet points on my resume is going to say enough to contribute to this. So your homework would be, all right, we know what automated test scripts are. What is Gherkin style language, right? What does it mean to, contribute to automated regression testing framework? That means that they already have a testing framework and tool in place. You're just actually automating some things. I don't care if you want to just say record and playback. I'm going to still try to do something to get the phone to ring. The worst thing that they could say is that's not enough. I'm going to apply. Because when I look at this, it does say roles, it says responsibilities, but I still feel like when it says about you, basic understanding of programming language and familiar with software development. So if you talk about automation test scripts, but then you're also saying basic understanding of programming language, and I see 70 and 90K, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna still apply. Worst thing they could do is not reach out to me. You guys got that? That's how I think. So the reason why I'm doing this more often is because I want you guys to understand how I think. Now, I want to do one more for the road just because that one has some automation in it. I don't know if I looked at this one. I don't think I see automation here. So let me go ahead and do this one. Last one. Let's go home. All right. Senior QA engineer. How many of you guys would have got scared because it said senior?
I would.
Me.
Why? Why?
That's
After
a
you come out
powerful
of
word.
Senior sound like you know everything, like you've been doing
Right.
it for a long time.
Like you the boss. They don't ask me, man. I don't know yet.
Senior could I'm a senior in my mind. That's right. I'm a senior. Hold on, what kind of senior though? Like what kind of mind and the senior? Because that could go two different ways, Anthony. So senior could also be that you was just over the team. They passed down the requirements, you help distribute work, and you help maintain a team. Senior could go different across company to company. I was a senior QA, and in my first QA role, after 30 days, that's the title they gave me. I was like, what? And their senior QA was the fact that I was actually over the rest of the team. So position how you're going to tell your story and what makes you a senior QA. So I can simply say that as a senior QA in my experience or on my teams, I actually have senior experience with actually assisting with. Now, again, we could say senior, do you have any senior experience or leadership experience, right? So how can we spend any leadership experience, project management experience to say that, yes, here's how I'm a senior. I know how to develop SOPs and manage a team and delegate work. So don't just think senior is just with skill set and proficiency. All right. I think a lot of times we take ourselves out because we're scared. When I look at this job description, again, the worst thing that could happen is that they don't consider me a senior because maybe they want to have more years of experience. All right. There are people that has 10 years of experience that hasn't done anything but manual testing because they've been at the same job. But then I come in with 3 years of experience and I have a little bit of SQL, a little bit of API, and guess what? I'm over them. Just happened at my brother's last job. He came in, somebody's been on the team for years, only been on the manual side, but he came in with some API knowledge, got trained up, and he was actually made a senior QA engineer, automation engineer, and the other guy was a manual QA. But guess what? My brother got paid more. So stop taking yourself out and look at the job description. What is it asking for? Leading and planning and execution of comprehensive test integration. So again, leading, the word I just said, we're leading something here, right? Have you led anything in your previous roles before? Yeah, I could tell a story about that. All right, employ in advanced gray box testing. Okay, so you should know what gray box is, but we're typically, we're not going to over talk right now. We're going to just verify end-to-end systems and, all right, collaborate with the QA management document, provide expert and analysis and resolution on defects, conduct assessments following the release, drive continuous evolution of QA processes. So here's what makes this senior to me. You're leading and you're over everything to ensure, proper execution of the releases. You are conducting, any assessments after releases. You're driving continuous evolution of QA processes. What does that mean? Writing SOPs, bringing any insight to improving the way we use our tools. All right. You can Google that and give that type of insight. Stop discounting yourselves. All right. Actively implement and advocate for improvements, mentor and guide QA. So now do we see where the seniors come in from that? That's exactly what I said. Because if we look at skill set, it's not asking much of skill set. Now it says mentor and guide. Let's see, fostering professional growth by instilling best practices in software testing, methodology, bug reporting, and test automation. Now it does say mentor and guide in that. Now that depends. If I'm in an interview and I get it, I'm still going to ask, what if they have a QA engineer? What if I'm a part of a team and I'm the senior, but they have a QA automation engineer, and all I'm doing is supporting the process of getting what's manual into automation, and also executing and reviewing automation results to see if anything needs to be updated or a defect needs to be reported. So take this and just, replay this and think about all the things I'm saying. These are things that we're going to talk about again on positioning automation without being proficient. We're going to keep being on this topic because I think a lot of you guys keep taking yourselves out, and you just need to really read these job descriptions. The worst thing that I'm going to say apply. The worst thing that can happen is they don't call you. The best thing that can happen is they call you, and you got to study that job description to give your career story. Is that okay? How are we feeling for tonight? We ready to go home?
Feel good.
Feel good? How quickly can
Yes.
one get through the courses in RTA? So I can, depends on you. I'm gonna say take your time, because if you try to go, too fast, you come to the internship, you can be overwhelmed. And we still, in October, we're still doing a 10-day internship. In January, they're going to turn into 6-week internships. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be pros and cons. People that's coming into Road to QA after this week, when we finally increase the price, is going to pay more. But those of you that's in Road to QA and you go through that, you'll have a little bit more time. I don't want to say time, but it'll just be structured. So it's not 10 days and it's going to go to 6 weeks. So we're trying to make a better experience for me also, because I still have a personal life, and 10 days has actually shown that it's cool, but it's overwhelming for everybody. So it just depends. You might have to study by yourself, but then come to these calls. You might be good with studying by yourself, and it's enough. So you have to decide. Just definitely take your time, because it's our goal, just as my brother said, is we don't want you to go too fast where we just think this is easy. We want you to really understand that this is not just about skill set, it's about your approach to testing. Did you guys take away like the scenarios we gave today? Do you see how when we talk, it's not just all skill set, it's our approach and how we think? We talked about a lot of different scenarios tonight. So testing is not just about the skill set. All right. You can grow in your skill set. Someone can hire you because of your personality and because you understand how to approach testing and say you're enough. All right. All right, you guys, if it's nothing else, we will see you next week.
Hey,
Thank
Jenny,
you.
real quick, I have a
Thank you.
question. Sorry. Are you still planning for these calls to be 2 hours at some point?
We're just all trying to get with our schedule right now. So if we do, we're going to do it this time, but we're probably going to wait to the last quarter. We're probably more towards October, especially because I can't really back up anything. I'm kind of dealing with family stuff that's pulling me. So we are definitely looking to do that. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good
All right.
night. Good luck to your husband, Jenny, on the 3rd.
Thank you. I know. I hope to let you guys know.
All right. Good night,
Thank you.
Have a good night.
everybody. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.